And we are wrestling with WWE Clash in Paris. Took place last Sunday in Nanterre, France, at the Paris La Défense Arena. Attendance was 30,343. Um, a very um, a very fine sized crowd for sure. One of the bigger crowds this year for sure. And yeah, um, we'll get into it. But your thoughts on the show?
On the show. Um, the show as a whole, okay. I mean, the Cena, match of the night, Cena Logan. He done came. Like, Cena came to play. I don't know what happened, but it seemed like ever since they got rid of that heel promo, he's like, I'm just gonna use all the wrestling moves in my energy bud because we didn't even talk about the fact he hit a GTS in Chicago, but that's all.
Right.
So he's out here like, oh no, I'm trying to wrestle. But yeah, and of course everything it pushed a storyline. Of course, like I said, the CM Punk storyline is the one that's going to continue, and thus what happened here and on Raw is what we is a precursor to what happened yesterday. So I mean, it pushed everything along, and now we realize how come they didn't have any PLEs in September because of Clash in Paris and now WrestlePalooza. It's all coming together for Survivor Series, which is going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. The people that possibly get picked for this match for War Games.
So first and foremost, I find WWE guilty of AEWing. And when I say that, I mean this was a 4 hour PLE, and the matches just seemed to like go really, really long. And it didn't really seem like there was a reason, considering like this wasn't SummerSlam or Survivor Series where you could get away with adding an extra hour to it. And considering what we know, on Monday and Friday, this was very much just a transition PLE rather than the blow off PLE, if that makes sense. Um, I feel like they just kind of did it because they had 30,000 in attendance, and this was the last PLE we're gonna have on Peacock for quite some time. The matches were okay, but again, it's everything was just so long. Like it didn't. You could have done it in 3 hours. Everything that they did, they could have done in 3 hours and still make it work just as good, in my opinion.
That that can be the case, but I think they just gave it to them because it's France, and France is just. I do give them that. France is hot. That crowd is just. I'm like, I sat there and I was like, ain't no way, because San Diego, we need to be better, baby.
Honestly, I'm getting tired of the European crowds with the Roman Reigns, Roman like fucking cheer, don't sing. Like I'm kind of over it at this point. Uh,
How are you? Oh, you can't be over that.
they don't cheer, they sing. Like if
That's European. That's their cheering is their singing.
I feel like if it was just a random Sunday at a bar, they would be doing the exact same thing. They just paid an
That
over expensive ticket to do it.
that's my point. Like it, it only they did it in a way that only they know how. Say what you will, they understand the assignment.
Um, well, Well, let's get into it. Let's get into the first match. Uh, Roman Reigns defeated Bronson Reed to retain his Shu La Fala in 22 minutes and 5 seconds. When I say these matches went way too long, this match was the most guilty of doing so. Um, it took the match might have been 22 minutes, but the whole segment between entrances and for them to actually get Roman Reigns out of the ring took an hour. This was a full hour of the show was Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed. And uh, I mean, the match itself was fine. It did what it needed to do. I love the fact that Roman Reigns took the shoes back and drew them into the crowd, kind of stating, it doesn't really matter to me. I wrestle for championships, which was the statement he made. It was just kind of everything else. Like, again, the 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 after segment did not have to take as long as it did, and it just kind of dwelled at the point where this is going on forever, and it definitely did
Really?
take it definitely took away from my enjoyment of the whole entire show because it just kept dragging and dragging and dragging, and yeah, it this was not uh, paced out properly, in my opinion. What say you?
I, I, I mean, I guess my take is totally different because I'm looking at it like I know why that happened. The reason the whole long segment happened is to get the heat back from Bronson taking the L to Roman. Um, that was the whole purpose of it. I mean, say what you will, it made Bronson and or made Braun. It made Braun look more serious than anything because now it kind of showed you that yeah, Roman won the match, and it showed to them, fuck the match, we here to take you out. So that's what I got out of it. Um, and it put Jay right back in the middle of it because every time Jay try to leave, family keeps pulling them back, come back.
Right.
So that's the whole point. The you I can see why you say it takes too long, but the point to me it tied in all of what was happening not only between Bronson and Roman and Braun, but also Jay because J- Jay having the talk with Roman, Roman having his match, Roman winning the match, Roman getting attacked, Jay making the save, Jay seeing him get left on a stretcher, Jay going through that mentally, Jay now realizing what kind of it's almost kind of like he's coming to terms with what Roman was actually meaning. And that's funny because Roman has not changed in all of this. The only difference is people's perception. So that's the whole point of it. It's gearing up the people who, because Seth and Braun are in war games.
Right.
Roman and Jay will be there. So it's setting the thing up, right? It's giving them to a reason to be involved in war games.
Right. And I do completely agree with everything that you said, 100%. And I am like genuinely happy that Bronson Reed actually got this match. Bronson deserves to wrestle Roman Reigns for sure. Um, but an hour to get all of this done it just seemed like too much. It like it could have been done in no, like half the time and still have, the same result. If I'm being completely honest, like everything that they wanted to accomplish could have been done in a half hour, 45 minutes at the least. And they just, there's letting things breed, and then there's just letting too much time pass in between everything. I think they let too much time pass in between, in my opinion. But
I guess I look at it different because that needed to me that needed to happen in order for you because the thing is this everybody more people are going to want to be in more games to get back at Seth and the crew than to actually team up. And that is the story that I see is happening, right?
right,
The story, and that's honestly, that is the overarching story. Everybody's more trying to get to Seth more than being allies, and they're not even caring about being allies because you see LA Knight fighting Punk, and you see Jay slowly was cool with Punk, and then he did the thing to Punk because of the whole family thing. So now you got that angle. Then you got, you see what I'm saying?
right,
LA Knight and Jay having a problem. And you see what I'm saying? So,
right,
and then don't even forget the fact of the callback of LA Knight and Roman. So it's like all, you see what I'm saying?
right,
All of this stuff is about to come. And you kind of got to give a reason for Roman to want to be in war games other than the fact of saying I'm in war games.
right,
And this is going to give him the reason to do so. We know Jay's going to do it because it's for family.
right. I uh, and I agree, but I feel like this all could have been wrapped up again in 30 minutes, and it could have had the same effect. Just my opinion. That being said, how many stars do you give this?
I mean, to me, but the match was actually pretty solid. I mean, for Bronson, he felt like it looked like he belonged. Uh, I mean, a good 3.5.
Yeah, I agree. 3.5. For the match itself was pretty solid.
Yeah, the match was solid. But and then not even forgetting the fact that Roman got the receipt, so you couldn't just end it on Roman getting the receipt.
Right. It.
See,
No, I get that.
because that would make Braun and them look weak. So that's why all of that needed to happen.
No, agree. All right. Do we have Uncle Dave's take?
Now you know good and damn well Uncle Dave had a MF and take on this for Labor Day weekend.
Oh no, I thought he might be still on a
Ring of
forbidden
Honor.
a
Oh,
forbidden.
he's on Ring of Honor. Oh, 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 oh. What?
I was gonna say he was still in a coma from Forbidden Door because he got so much pleasure from it.
No, no. But you know what? It is another week, another PLE. I feel like we had like 30 PLEs in like the last 10, which means it is another episode of Guess That Rating for Dave Meltzer.
Okay, what did Uncle
Keep in
Dave give
mind,
this?
WWE in Paris
I'm
on
gonna
Labor Day weekend.
3 7/5,
Lower,
3 1/4,
higher,
3.5.
3.5. There we go. See, now we know you ain't cheating.
Just give me a minute. I need to dial into what Uncle Dave is feeling on this given day. What's making him vibe. Alright. WWE Tag Team Championship match. The Wyatt Six, Joe Gacy and Dexter Loomis, with Uncle Harry, Eric Rowan, and Nikki Cross defeated the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, with BFAB in 13 minutes and 10 seconds. Um, it didn't seem like this was a bit of a transitional match, if I'm being honest. Not taking away anything from anybody, but after everything that happened, needed something to get the crowd back up. I think it did that. I'm happy to actually see, the Wyatt Six on a paid a PLE, and I'm never going to complain when the Street Profits are, on a PLE. Love those guys. I think it understood the assignment, what it needed to do. The Street Profits had that awesome Borderlands gear as well. I find it funny that the Wyatt Six is very beloved by the crowd for obvious reasons, but still very much the heels in the match, and they make that very obvious. But I don't know. I think that this worked for what it needed to be. What say you?
Um, I just don't like the fact that they're trying to tease the Street Profits breaking up, bro. Just keeping it tall. Uh, uh, I get why the Wyatts got the belts. I just don't think. I think I'll give them a chance. Let me see what they do with it, because when the belt was being dabbled amongst DIY, the Profits, Motor City Machine Guns, the tag teams division was kind of like buzzing. And now it just seems like, okay, where are they going to go from there? Because they're not going to have a lot of contenders, and so
Right. Well, I
it's
mean,
it's
DIY already
that's
went back to NXT, so that's what they'll be doing for maybe the next couple of weeks.
and then you got to think about what Motor City Machine Guns are going to do, what and so that's my biggest fear, and I don't want
Would you maybe
I
would you say that it was maybe time for the Street Profits to go their own way and see what they could do as singles?
I personally, I you can make the argument. I just don't. I don't think that. I don't. I think they're too solid of a tag team to end it. That's just my opinion of the whole thing, of the Profits. Tez can be a star on his own. I think Dawkins could be a solid guy. I just think that given the state of the tag team division, other than Judgment Day, the Wyatt Six, there's not really a lot of cohesive units as a tag team.
Right.
Right, Motor City Machine Guns obviously attack, but even they had a history of breaking up. DIY, they had a history of breaking up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Other
yeah.
than the New Day, you see what I'm saying? So like, that's why I just think it. I think it would be a bigger hole in the tag team WWE tag team you know than anything.
No, I agree with that. It's kind of like the Hardy Boys breaking up.
That is true. although they both did good, but the thing is, yeah, when the Hardy Boys and the Dudleys broke up, and then Edge and Christian broke, it was a hole in that tag team division. It's a hell of a hole, like a black hole. That's what I'm saying. So that's what you don't want.
Right. And we could, out of all those tag teams that you just said, we could probably agree that the Street Profits are probably the biggest out of all of those tag teams.
They are the biggest, especially considering that you're already seeing the writing. You see the writing for Judgment Day, so we know where that's going,
Right.
or at least we have a speculation of where that should be going. And then the Wyatts are still trying to figure it out. But everybody else, other than what the New Day, and the New Day needs to get them. I need them to get over their mourning and get them belts back. Anyways, but that's a whole nother thing. That's what I'm saying. And when the last time they defended those titles, I will give Wyatt that much, but it was against like Wyatt defending against the Profits. Who's going to be that next challenge?
Right. We'll see. But this match, how many stars you give it?
The crowd really kind of. I mean, this was the one time the crowd was like, "Eh, right?" Am I the only one that felt that?
I think they were just kind of blown up from the last match.
Yeah, they were blown up. Yeah, getting their win back. But that, I mean, a three, and that's me pushing it.
I was actually under the same assumption. Dre. So that leaves us with Uncle Dave. Hmm.
Uncle Jizzy,
2 and 7/5.
you cheating? Now we know you cheating.
I I calculated it because we probably gave it more than he did.
Cheater.
Alright, now we have the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship match. Becky Lynch defeated Nikki Bella in 13 minutes 7 seconds. Um, Honestly, one of Nikki Bella's better matches.
Really?
I don't remember seeing Nikki Bella wrestle Becky before. I could be wrong about that. But I mean, she gave it to Becky. Becky gave it back to her. Not, a bad match. But I would say that the ending left a lot to be desired because Becky just kind of out of nowhere, rolled her up, and that was just kind of it. Um, it was just kind of it was more of a whimper than a bang, if I'm being completely honest. Um, but other than that, not a bad match. I don't want to say that it did what it needed to do, but it was on the card. What say you?
I mean, I thought the ring rust showed for our girl Nikki Bella, but that's just me. Just me personally, and I think Nikki took advantage of it and got the win. But to be quite honest, this thing was over when Nikki dropped that bomb on her and her John Cena. This shit was over right then and there.
Oh yeah,
This rivalry was over before the bell even rang.
and whether you believe rumor and innuendo, there might be issues between Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella legitimately. Um, Nikki Bella's already starting beef with Wade Barrett as well for his comments he made um, on the pre-show for a class in Paris. Which I mean, there wasn't necessarily anything revolutionary. He just said if anybody's desperate, it's Nikki Bella to stay relevant. Which I mean, he is a heel announcer, so I mean, he is going to say things about that. But she kind of made him out of a molehill. Um, I mean, you said the ring rust on Nikki Bella, and I agree with that. But could we maybe say that this was a better match than the one that she had with Chelsea Green, where she literally could not get her up for, the Rock Attack?
True, could be. I mean, that is true. I cannot, I mean, better than that, but even then, did you really think that this was a 50-50 shot?
Oh hell no! But I
There we go.
but I do think that Becky carried her to a better match than she's had since she's came back. My opinion. What say you, Kaliko? How many stars you give this?
2.5. I mean, yeah, 2.5.
Um, that's a fair uh review. Yeah, I agree. 2.5. All right, good old fashioned Donnybrook match. Rusev defeated.
Uncle Dizzy.
Ooh, that's right. If we didn't like this match, then he probably hated it. 1 7/5.
Higher.
Two.
2. There we go. Look at you.
All right. Good old fashioned Donnybrook match. Donnybrook match. Rusev versus Rusev defeated Sheamus in 20 minutes and 8 seconds. Way too long of a match, if I'm being honest, for two guys that.
What?
Yeah, for a match that didn't. I wasn't necessarily invested in. I like Sheamus. I don't necessarily care about Rusev. This shouldn't have been on the PLE. This should have been on a random Monday Night Raw, if I'm being completely honest.
Mm, I mean, I thought it was a good match. Two men slapping meat, beating the hell out of each other. What can you? What could be better than that?
I mean, yeah, but if you don't it's not like we haven't seen them slapping meat the last like 3 4 weeks on Raw, and I mean those matches kind of seem like they went forever as well. It, it's
That
it's
is
like
true.
it's not like they just want us to try and get invested and care about Rusev when I'm sorry, I don't care about Rusev.
You don't care about Rusev, damn.
Yeah, I mean if Lana was
How,
with him, sure, but
how
Rusev
dare you,
alone,
sir?
no. So yeah, it was hard for me to get invested to begin with. So I understand what they're trying to do. I'm not behind it. But you obviously thought differently, no?
Yeah, I liked it. It honestly, I think this is when the card started to pick up.
So it was kind of like for you, peaks and valleys. That first match was a peak. There was a bit of a valley in between, and now it started to become a peak again.
Yep.
All right, then how many stars you give this?
I mean, this was to me a solid. I'm gonna go 4.25
Four and
because
a quarter. Wow.
they went. I mean, say what you will, they went hard. They went hard. They went hella hard. Very hard. Yet.
Well, I think this is where we actually are the furthest apart than we've been. I give this a 3 stars.
How dare you?
Yeah. I mean, the slapping me and going hard part, I agree. The Do I give a shit about these guys doing it to each other? No, yeet.
How dare you?
Um, Uncle Dave.
Uncle Dave. Let's see. You got one in, I got the other. Let's see.
I think he's smack dab in the middle. 3.5.
Higher.
3 7/5.
Higher.
4.
4.25.
I
You
think
don't cheat, man.
I think you're just letting the Uncle Dave influence your star ratings a bit.
No, not true, because when we get to the next match,
Okay. Then we have John Cena defeating Logan Paul in 26 minutes and 20 seconds. I will agree with you. This was one of the better matches on the card for sure. Um, John Cena is starting to show off, what he has left in the tank. And, obviously Logan Paul wants to be in the caliber of a John Cena. So, they told that story well, I'd say. I don't necessarily understand why we needed callbacks to not Rusev, Cesaro and Dolph Ziggler and
Baron Corbin, because those are some of the opponents he had towards the end.
I don't
Give a
understand.
nod. I will give him that. He gives nods.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know why we needed to have those nods. The Styles class in Paris that kind of made some sense to me. If I'm being if anything, if one of the nods had to make sense, but there were the nods were unnecessary in my opinion. Uh, it didn't necessarily take away from anything, but it did what it needed to do, I suppose. And you know, I do think that Logan Paul is actually a better wrestler for having had the match with John Cena, if I'm being completely honest. And John Cena, I don't know how much. Like, does he need to go to the gas station to refill after all these like major matches he's been having in the last like couple of months? Like, is he leaving anything in the tank for his last match? I don't know, but he is putting it out there now. What say you?
Well, me personally, I thought that this was the match of the night. The crowd was into it. The crowd was into every move. They were into Logan trying to do this thing. They were into John Cena popping out like every releasing basically his entire move meter from WWE 2K. Uh, so yeah, to me, this was the match of the night, and it got the people popped. Everything that he did, that crowd was just yeah. I, me personally, that was it. That was the match of the night. Granted, it was John Cena's last time, and this is why we didn't want Cena to be heel because we knew every place he was going to be in, they're going to give him everything. And what pisses me off is that he didn't get that at WrestleMania.
Um,
But back to this match of the night for me.
you know,
Solid match, very solid for
it's
Logan, and Logan
yeah.
loses nothing in it. He loses nothing in it.
It's
So it was a
weird to
perfect
say he's
opponent.
one of those guys that could take an L and not necessarily let it hurt him one way or the other.
You want to know why? Because he gets the best of both worlds.
Elaborate.
Because if he, prime example, if he loses every match he's lost, people expected him to lose because they still kind of give him that YouTuber feeling
The outsider
because
role.
he's still an outsider even though he's a he's damn near. I mean, he's not full time, but damn near. Um, so he gets that leeway. When you look at his loss records, Seth Rollins, um, Jey Uso, L.A. Knight,
Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, John Cena. He's not losing to, you know what I'm saying? His losses are literally the upper echelon of wrestling.
But he also has wins against Rey Mysterio,
Rey
AJ
Mysterio,
Styles.
Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, AJ Styles.
Right. So
So
it balances it out.
if he balances out, and if he it's priming, it's like one of those things where like he wins the matches that you think he has a shot at, and he loses the matches that you know he doesn't have a business winning. And it's a perfect booking for him.
That
Because
works.
when he loses, everybody just falls back to, oh, he's an outsider, a YouTuber,
Right.
so on and so forth. But when he wins, it's like, oh shit, he actually looks good and he does maybe some nefarious things in the way. So it falls within that character.
Right. And going back to what, just to kind of go back to something that you mentioned was, John Cena not getting that appreciation, that cheers for WrestleMania. Just last night on SmackDown, they were in Chicago, Rosemont Horizon, and for anybody that knows John Cena or follows his career, he does not have the best relationship with the Chicago crowd, and especially Rosemont Horizon. Like every time that he was there, they would boo him out of that building. And for him to go into that arena for, his last match on SmackDown, and for the people to actually cheer him, and not even cheer him, but like really, show their respect for him. Honestly, I would say for him that would be more of a big deal than getting that last pop at WrestleMania, because he's gotten those pops at WrestleMania. He's never gotten that pop at Rosemont Horizon. You know what I mean?
While that is true, I think the entrance he got at Mania should have been the entrance he got in Paris, which is the entrance he should have got at SummerSlam. Which he got at SummerSlam. So that's just me personally.
Yeah.
I always thought like if he was gonna do the heely shit, do it at Mania because that would be the one place where you think he wouldn't do it. Um, but at least they knew to reverse the course. And but back to this match, yeah, this was the match of the night for me.
How many stars?
5.
5 stars. Wow.
I told you. Yeah, I mean, because that crowd elevated that match way super big. Logan played his part. They literally, John Cena literally called it. I mean, because he knows he's not going to wrestle these people again. So he's basically, I like that he paid homage to those people because those are people, for better or worse, who got kind of, other than Styles. I mean, Ziggler kind of got ramrodded. Same way with Baron Corbin.
No offense, but like when I think John Cena matches, Dolph Ziggler is definitely not even in the top 10 of people that I think of.
That is true. I think he. I don't think it's not about the match. It's about him respecting Dolph Ziggler as a professional.
And I mean, Baron Corbin, he
Yeah.
only had like one match with him that lasted like 2 minutes.
Hey, there's a reason he did it.
I mean, Cesaro, like, close to the same thing. Like, he had one match with him on a random Friday. It could have been a Tuesday. Um,
But you know, Cesaro has Cesaro in WWE. WWE Cesaro was seen as like the guy. Let's not act like, you know what I mean? They thought he was like the underground champ. So don't like, or at least the people thought so. So let's not act like that wasn't a thing, especially from the years of 2014 to roughly 2017.
I mean, true. And but unfortunately, every time they gave him a chance to succeed, he would blow it. And now he's
Never yeah, never broke his way, and I'll gladly say that. Yeah, never broke his way.
um. I give this 4 stars. It was it was good.
Hater. No, just joking, joke.
The It was a good match. It elevated Logan Paul. It made John Cena look good. Um, the crowd was. I would say that the crowd maybe took a little bit away from it because they were doing the wave and it kind of distracted from the match rather than get you more invested in it. My opinion. Um, they could have. The story was there. They did what they needed to do. So yeah, everything kind of worked. Except, like I said, the distraction. All right. Uncle Dave gave this. I think I'm vibing with Uncle Dave. He gave this a 4.
You might want to go higher, my man.
4.5.
4.5. See what I'm saying? Like, you're bugging.
Maybe I was just not in the mood. Um, Tired on
On Labor Day weekend? You must have been working on Labor Day weekend because that's the only way you wasn't in the mood.
um, it was a long Labor Day. I was tired. I saw the one time was 4 hours, and I said, all right, well, I'm not doing anything else, so might as well get through this. Then the first match kind of just. It was so long. The first match was so long that it. I don't want to say that it ruined my enjoyment of the rest of the show, but it did kind of put a slight damper on everything. So maybe that first match damper took off maybe a half a star or a quarter of a star for all of this for me. I'll admit that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Um, that break, and like I said, it was 4 hours and 6 matches. Like for a PLE that wasn't SummerSlam, WrestleMania, or one of the bigger ones. So that definitely soured me a bit as well for a transitional period. Uh, well, that brings us to the last match, the main event, the World Heavyweight Championship four-way match. Seth freaking Rollins defeated CM Punk, Jey Uso, and LA Knight in 24 minutes and 29 seconds. Another unnecessarily long match.
You in the bro, it was the Labor Day weekend. What the hell? What the hell else you had to go?
It's not that I had anywhere else to go. It's just that I didn't want to spend all of my day, well, all of my night watching this.
Well, I guess I'm in the minority because, unlike everybody else, I didn't watch this shit live. I watched it on Labor Day. Fuck that. I'm just like, fuck it. I got shit to do, and I just watch it on the.
So,
Fuck it.
yeah, again, unnecessarily long. I, I will say this: it told the story that it needed to do properly. Like LA Knight, now has problems with Jey Uso because of their interactions in this match. Seth, you think, is on his all by his lonesome because the Bronze, um, got kicked out earlier in the night. Um, Jey Uso is already hurt in going into the match because he messed around and fucked around with the Bronze. CM Punk is just sporting Doctor Doom gear and looking cool, and thinking that he could get his pound of flesh. And then obviously Becky Lynch comes in and fucks everything up for all three guys, letting her Bay win the match. Um, Again, other than being unnecessarily long, I think that this really worked out really well with telling all of the stories that they needed to tell in it. So I
Oh yeah.
so in some ways I would say that this was probably masterfully done because you did pick up on everything that needed to be picked up on.
Oh
What
yeah.
what's
And
that?
that's my point. And it also gives a reason why it's going to give the reason why it's not over. Just because the match is over doesn't mean that it's over for each individual.
Right. And obviously it's not because Monday and Friday, everything that happened on those 2 weeks, tells you where we're heading. And obviously,
Oh,
you know, September sets up October, October sets up War Games.
I mean, I cannot wait till War Games. Am I the only person that's like, oh, I'm like, I feel like a crackhead right now because it's San Diego. It's my city. This is the first time my black ass ain't got to pay for fucking hotels. Fucking go, right? But back to the match at hand. It actually worked out, like we said. Everything had a reason, and now it sets up everything, and that's it. And this is why I told you Seth was the best case to win that briefcase because when he cashes in, he becomes the focal point, and that's what I was saying earlier in the year. Like him having the title, it sets everybody up to be against him, and now he's basically in this scenario where, to be quite honest, he cannot slip and fall. He's basically his head is on a swivel, and that's good because now it keeps the championship. It keeps the championship at the forefront, and it gives all these other people that are in the orbit that shine as a championship contender. Not to mention the fact, I mean, other Punk is a championship. I mean, Jay is that well, but it also see how LA Knight is elevated to a championship contender because of the simple fact that Seth had the title. He beat Seth, and now you see what I'm saying.
Right.
So that wouldn't have had happened if Seth didn't have the title. And then keep in mind, Seth knocked off LA Knight to win the briefcase to get it in the first place. So it all works, right? So that's why I like Seth having it because he's the guy. He is the moon, and everybody's trying to jump on that bitch. And the problem is that everybody is like beefing with each other and trying to get to the moon. So in a way, he kind of escapes because everyone else is arguing with each other over who gets to get to the moon. That's essentially how it is. And I like that. And that puts Seth in a way better position because that's a position he's been in before. Honestly, this is like, it's almost like a redo of the 2014, or not 2014, was it 2015? His
2015.
2015 title?
Yeah.
His 2015 title run versus that not having that authority. This is what it should have been. And now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
So,
get what you mean.
so so it makes him look good. It makes his people look good. Everybody's looking strong. Everyone looks strong, and everyone has their whys, and that's what matters, especially in this when you come to the championship. Because the WWE Championship, it's its own thing. People care about it. It is what it is. But that belt now gets elevated because now you got so many people fawning over not only the belt, but trying to get revenge on the person that is holding the belt. And that is, to me, is what wrestling has always been about.
It's I agree, and I mean it. This match did exactly what it needed to do to set up everything that they needed to do in this last week. Like, and masterfully done. Masterfully it has. No, and God bless that guy that had that sign in the crowd that said, "We want AJ Lee in fucking Paris." Oh,
Prayers well, it wasn't answered then, but like I say, they don't come when you want them to,
right.
but they come when you need.
If if anybody needed to buy a ticket to Chicago, it was that guy. Um, a conversation me and Kaliko had before the show started. Um,
No shit. If there was one person that should have been in Chicago, it should have been me. I feel like, goddamn.
I mean, there should have been a couple shows your ass should have been at, but you decided to just go to a Lucha Vavoom instead.
Hey man, burlesque show versus attempted murder. I, I should have been at both. Well, no, you know what? Lucha Boom was Friday. Knox Pro was Saturday. I easily could have won.
I mean, if Lucha Vavoom was actually on this day that you went when it wasn't there, you could have easily gone to any of these shows.
Uh, I'm thinking Lucha Boom was on a Friday, so Knox Pro was on the weekend. I could have went. I could have went to Lucha. I could have went to Knox Pro. But Knox Pro, that's the thing with Knox Pro, because Knox Pro, the furthest I will drive to Knox Pro, and this is me telling, they usually have a spot in Ramona called the Derby Room, and I love the Derby Room because it's not too far from the Ramona speed track. But that venue is perfect because they have a area where it's kind of shaded, and they built two rings. As a matter of fact, I went to their Knox Pros. I remember the last time I was in Ramona, it was like Knox Pros version of War Games, where they had like, and it was a 2 day show. Went to the 2 day show and had a ball. I ain't gonna lie, it was fun as shit. As a matter, In fact, I am digging through my crates, looking at all that now.
And
It's
nobody
funny
was
how,
attempting to be murdered as well.
although they did have a match that involved one of those food for less shopping carts, and you know how hard them bitches are. So that's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I already found it. We about to clip it, put it.
I, all of everything that's happening right now, obviously you're in the majority that is saying that, it's going to be set in Punk WrestleMania. While that still might still be very prevalent, I don't know. I'm looking at LA Knight right now, and I'm thinking, could they finally pull the trigger on LA Knight doing a Rumble win or a Elimination Chamber win? Either would kind of make it would make sense, I would
Well,
say.
it could, but the problem is here's where I think is gonna happen, and because I kind of got a feeling of how it's gonna get mapped out. Jay, for the moment, is going to be out of the title picture
Right.
because Jay is going to be focused on trying to get revenge for Roman with Bronson and Braun, which works.
Right.
Knight eventually will get that title shot. Again, I think it's going to happen at the Rumble. I think it's going to happen at the Rumble. He's going to come up short. Now, this is where it gets dicey because Cody's out. Him and Drew are going to bang. It's just a matter of how long they bang. Because depending on how long they bang, I can make the argument Punk is winning the Rumble, Punk and Seth at 41, because at this point, there's no reason for Punk has kind of like the one-on-one rematch clause, but it would mean more for Punk to win the Rumble and main event Mania than to just get it, like, i.e. Elimination Chamber.
Right. And I agree with that. But I don't I don't know because with Punk and Rollins, the championship doesn't necessarily need to be attached for them to settle their issue. Punk, what needs to happen is Punk needs to make Seth Rollins go away. And, I was under the assumption, Hell in a Cell would be the perfect, way to end that. Whether or not the championship is, attached or not. I mean, you could do maybe LA Knight versus CM Punk at WrestleMania, but, I also feel like people want to see CM Punk actually win the main event of WrestleMania this time around. Um, it would also make sense to do, Punk and Seth again at WrestleMania just to kind of bookend, it was both matches were at, in Las Vegas. But again, you could do Seth and Punk Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania and have LA Knight chase whoever was holding the championship, the heavyweight championship at that time. It it's all roads are leading. Seem like they're leading to Seth versus Punk at Mania for the heavyweight championship. But we could both agree that plans don't always go exactly the way that they usually do. No.
Card subject to change.
Right.
Uh, while that is true, I still, I think that's where they're going because I think the Seth Punk thing is the reason it clicks because it's not only a a wrestling thing, it's a real thing. So like it's and it's like remember when I told you when what was it 40 right before 41 and Seth cut that promo and I was like damn I kind of see where he's coming from in the sense like he's fighting for the full timers that are, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And to me, that little inkling, that little inkling of them putting that reality into it is like what makes it a thing. And they're gonna have to attract seats. I think Punk Rollins main event night to WrestleMania.
Okay. Well, you know, WrestleMania plans don't necessarily start setting in stone until December of this year.
Yeah, after Cena leaves. No, I
Yeah.
say Survivor Series. Survivor Series.
Well,
After Survivor Series.
that's what that I think whoever that war games between Division and um team of individuals that are teaming up because they hate one guy, that match is going to tell you who is going to wrestle Seth Rollins and who's going to win what championship at what point. Whether that's Punk,
I beg to
LA
di-
Knight.
I beg to differ
I mean,
because
the
I think the Vision's winning. I think the Vision's winning.
hmm. Well, I mean, they could still
See,
win, but it's not about who wins the match. It's about who looks the best on the other side that makes WWE say this is the guy we're going for at WrestleMania.
well, here's the thing. War Games is usually 5 people.
Five. It's either 4 or 5.
I give it 5 because last time when it was the Bloodline, it was basically the Usos, Roman, Sammy, CM Punk.
That's
So
right.
that's 5.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're thinking the 5, and I'm already calling it, it's going to be Punk, Roman, Jay, Knight, and the fifth is where it's iffy because it has to be someone who kind of has a grind to axe with them. So that's the only thing that's killing me is who is that fifth on that side.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you got the Vision, and they need two. Now, Paul can pull. Keep in mind, the Vision is just its thing, and Paul can pull favors. So that's where I'm like, okay, where is he going to pull the string to get 2 people to give him a favor? Um, so that's how I'm seeing it, and the only way, may it's a long shot, but if John Cena is in this match, you know what I'm saying? It's out of pocket, but eh,
I don't think it's that out of
and
pocket.
it's out of pocket unless like a Logan jumps in. It can't be a Drew. I mean,
I mean, okay, hold on. I know if anything's going to be out of pocket, but would be like the coolest shit ever. If you have Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Brock fucking Lesnar all on the same team, all 3 guys, somebody that Paul Heyman fucked over in the last like 2, 3 years.
I mean, 4 years.
4 years, 5 years. He's fucked them over.
Right.
So, I mean, that could be the fifth guy on Brock on their team.
That is true, and I can also see Paul pulling a favor to get Brock on the other side. Brock is like this wild card. Um, but we know we got four on anti-vision, and we got three with vision, and it's just a matter of finding the other three pieces that make it whole.
This sounds
And that I think is going to happen after, I would think, heading into WrestlePalooza.
What do you think about Omos being a part of the Vision?
Nah, if I had my bet, and it was the longest of shots because they were trying to. Because I remember Seth was saying he wanted to add a person who was disgruntled, and I would have had my money on Karrion Kross for that position, but obviously that's not going to happen.
I mean, it still could
Um,
happen.
it could, but it's a push,
I mean,
big time push.
the ones that were rumored and innuendoed were Ricky Saints and Ethan Page.
Ricky Saints and Ethan Page.
Like, I could see Ethan Page because he is like a good heel, so he could definitely work well with the other guys in the group. Ricky Saints, I would say, is a bit more of an individual.
I keep Ethan Saints with what's his face? Chelsea Green. They're killing it.
Right. And that could be, honestly, a bit of a detriment to Ethan Page right now.
It could be. So I mean, to me, it's but it's tough. It's just trying to get the three, and that's the one. It's just trying to get those three. But back to the match, it worked. Everybody's playing their part, and now you see like even though the match ended, everyone has a gripe to get the one-on-one. LA Knight, to me, is going to push that to the heavens because he has every legit gripe to do so.
Right.
That's why I think he is the next challenger for the title. And I think once the whole Punk mixed tag thing goes, I can see Pierce giving him that rematch because he's going to say, "Yeah, I got this triple threat, or the Fatal 4-Way, but I want my one-on-one."
Right. How many stars you give this?
This was a good 4.5. I mean, and Becky, we didn't even talk about Becky coming out of nowhere. Like, like Becky just popped her ass out of nowhere. When I saw that happen, I was like, "Who?" I was like, "This skinny bit." But everybody's yelling like she's like reeking for desperation, and I'm like, well, that's the other thing I don't get. It's like, why would she be reeking for desperation when she's legitimately married to the guy?
I mean, and it's not like it was the first time that they've teamed up together or that they've done something like this.
Yeah, this ain't the first time their real life shit hasn't popped on the screen.
Right. And I definitely feel like CM Punk and AJ Lee is a big, vast upgrade from Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans.
Although Baron Corbin did hit the end of days on her ass. See, I will say this: Baron Corbin, who is that? There was a big complaint on the IWC that Punk just was sitting back, not just taking it. Because they're like, somebody needs to have him page Randy Orton and Baron Corbin because they gave no fucks. They gave no fucks. And I was like, you got a point there.
Yeah.
you, you, you kind of got a point there. I'm not, I'm not going to argue that one. That was, yeah. Yeah, you're pretty solid with that one.
Um, uh, I give this one 4.5 as well. I think that it did everything it needed to do properly and told a great story. Um, Uncle Dave. Who? Uncle Dave. Uncle Dave.
Yeah, Uncle Dave.
3.5.
Actually, higher.
4.
Higher.
4.25.
4.25.
Okay. Interesting. Alright. Show as a whole. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
Um, I would, me personally, I think the the 4 matches overshadowed the 2 lacklusters. So yeah, thumbs up. And the crowd. I mean, it's Paris, bro. You can't you can hate the crowd, but you can't hate on the crowd.
I'm in thumbs in the middle. Um, it was it was too long of a show for what they had and what they were doing. Um, they took a note from AEW and it did not work. So stick to the 3 hours, 3.5 if you really need to tell that extra story. Um, don't go to 4 hours for a show that's for transitional purposes.
I mean, it's WWE. Honestly, at this point, they are the game in town. Now with football back, it's going to be interesting. How they this is where they usually fall off.
Oh, SmackDown's
So
already did the worst ratings that they've done in for
yeah,
under.
because the NFL is on, and they had a game in Brazil, and the NFL came hard. They came hard. Not only did they have it on YouTube, they had all of YouTube's most popular streamers streaming the game. So it's one of those things where it was kind of a lose lose from jump.
Yeah, and the same can
When
be.
I show speed, when the guy that WWE had in the Royal Rumble is streaming the NFL, yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah, I get that. It wasn't it wasn't necessarily worth noting that SmackDown and AEW did the worst ratings that they've done in quite some time. It kind of
Yeah, I mean, I could have
understandable.
told you that. That's why I
Yeah,
watched it on Monday. Fuck, fucking, I was watching. I mean, I'm a sports guy. College football, week one, college football, and now week one NFL. And SmackDown's going against the Chargers and the Chiefs in Brazil with 5,000 or 4 of the popular streamers, and then they included Mr. Beast in it. With bro, it was they was destined. It was fucked from jump. I'm dead ass. They had a whole human field goal shit with Mr. Beast giving out tickets to the Super Bowl. Then you got I Show Speed streaming it, and a couple of these other popular YouTubers streaming it. It was fun. It was shit. You were done, son.
well, that will conclude our coverage of WWE Clash in Paris.
Hey, folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show. Support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.